Well, hello, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your February the 21st Spiritual Principle a Day in a Meditation. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and get into the meditation. I use every blessed breath that I have. Okay, the title of the meditation, all right, is Faith Provides Shelter from the Storm. I know that faith in my higher power will not calm the storms of life, but it will calm my heart. I will let my faith shelter me in times of trouble. That's taken from the Just for Today meditation book, Faith, January 11th. Most of us have heard it said that none of us gets here by accident. It wasn't exceptional skills for handling life on life's terms that got us here. It was unmanageability. Working step one helps us to see how addiction creates chaos in our lives and shows us how we can begin to gain some freedom. Some of us, while floating on that early recovery pink cloud of hope, might prematurely celebrate the end of all the drama in our lives. We might rush off and make amends to our families or our exes or virtual strangers, eager to let them know that our problems are all in the past now. Then life gets tough and reality sets in again. We are let down by people and institutions we should be able to respect. Excuse me, let me repeat that. We are let down by people and institutions we think we should be able to respect. Rent is too high. We get sacked from our job for no reason. A public health crisis occurs. On top of that, our favorite television series is canceled. The injustice of it all. And our step work doesn't stop any of it from happening. That's almost comical. Our disease creates unmanageability in our lives, sure. And arresting the disease by working steps can help us put an end to our needless, self inflicted suffering. However, not all of the messes in our life are self created. No amount of step work or meditation will prevent us from ever experiencing loss, sadness, rage, frustration, and other unpleasant feelings. No amount of prayer will guarantee freedom from unpleasant encounters with coworkers, family members, or random people in traffic. We may not know how to react to every new type of weather pattern that comes our way. Still, the freedom from our self made storms that we gained by working steps is a source of faith. We can endure all sorts of chaos and nonsense by getting right with ourselves and our higher power. Things might not go our way, but we can still go with the flow. The current crisis, whatever it is, will pass. If the problem is one of my own making, the steps will help me get through it. If the problem is not one of my own making, the steps will help me get through it. How about that? The steps help us regardless to whether or not it's a self-made problem or a problem someone else created. The steps in working them are always appropriate to apply the spiritual principles of them. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I know. I rushed through that moment of silence. That's because I can barely breathe. And I want to make sure that we spend a little bit of time unpacking this. Faith provides shelter from the storm, and it correlates faith, a source of faith, being our working the steps. because the steps don't stop life from happening. They just make sure that when life happens, you have enough backing, you have enough spiritual support, energy to be able to come through whatever life tosses your way. That's what the steps do. They kind of take you through a training ground, if you will. It's like a boot camp. The step one takes you through seeing the unmanageability of your life. So there is, by the time you get done with step one, there should be no doubt. There should absolutely be no doubt that your life had become unmanageable, that you are powerless over the disease of addiction, right? It should leave you with that one thought in mind. My life had become so unmanageable that I surrendered. I put the drugs down because I can't have this in my life. And in that process, you are saying, I believe that I can be restored to sanity. And it takes you through that. And then it gets you to the point where it says, okay, now that you say that you have faith, that you could believe that you can be restored to sanity, and you started the ball rolling, are you willing to turn the care of your life? Because if you can't turn over the care of your life to a higher power that you trust, that you devise, that you say, this is my understanding of a God, right? If you can't do that, then you're still going to be self-willing everything. And which means that when bumps come along the way, you're going to do the same old thing that you've always been doing. 9 times out of 10, you're going to pick up something to help sugarcoat, right? Camouflage, change the perspective, create an illusion of your reality so that you can go through it feeling as least amount of pain and emotions as possible. And if you're lucky, you may be high enough that by the time you come out of being high, the decision is already made for you. So you can just say, I didn't have anything to do with that. I was too busy using. Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. I'm not responsible for how that turned out. I wasn't even around. Uh, exactly. That's the point. You let the circumstance make the decision for you. You copped out. You decide to use instead of saying, you know what? My mom is sick right now. My mother needs me. My mother needs to come stay at my house. My husband needs me. My husband needs me to do such and such, and maybe even go out and get a job right now because he can't work anymore. And this is a we thing. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna just use. And maybe it'll go away. And it doesn't go away. And life snaps you right back into the present with either a loss, a death, ended relationship, serious illness, a circumstance, losing property, losing a home, any number of things can happen without us using. But to default to using so that we don't have to be responsible. We don't have to do that anymore. We have the steps working for us. We have tools today, and some of those tools have very sharp edges so that we can cut through the mire, we can cut through the garbage, we can get to the exact nature of what's going on and come up with a solution based on the truth. That's what I tell sponsees. I don't know why you lie to me. I mean, I understand. I lied to my sponsor too, quite a bit, as a matter of fact. um, but why lie? Because a sponsor can only help you with what you give them. And if you give them half a truth, if you lie by omission, the response is going to be half applicable, only applicable to that one half of the story that you actually told. Step work is amazing. And if you've done any step work, even if you've just done a little step work, on this channel, you will find that I start the step one. So this week, I will be going back into the balance of step one, right? That's my goal. But you will be able to get started with your step work right here and now, even if you've just done a portion of your step work. You got way more working for you, way more tools in your belt than a lot of people. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I want you to take away from this that working the steps gives you tools for anything that life throws your way. Having the steps and the practical application of the spiritual principles of them makes your life better, not worse. So roll up your sleeves and let's get going. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to be talking to you tomorrow.